If you ever decided to do content and then just ended up staring at your screen for 45 minutes and organizing your desk, then this video is for you. Creating content consistently is one of the most important things to do in your small business. Nobody ever taught you a system on how to do it sustainably. Today, I'm gonna help you fix that. How to make content that fits into a real person's real busy life. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly which content to write, how to turn one piece of content into 10, and how to create stuff that's actually going to help your business grow. No overwhelm, no burnout, just a simple system that you can keep up with. Hi, I'm Kevin from Senzi Marketing, and I help solopreneurs and small business owners get their stuff done without going crazy. Now, here's what happens for most people, right? On Monday, you post something on Instagram. Tuesday, you do something on LinkedIn. And maybe on Wednesday, you just completely forget and panic. Thursday, you go back to Instagram, maybe answer comments, do a story. By Friday, you're wondering why you're not getting any results. The problem isn't that you don't have good ideas, it's that you're starting from scratch every single time. But the businesses that are doing better than you in content, they're not working harder, they just have a system that they're sticking to. And they're doing three things that you aren't. They're picking content ideas that match their business goals, they're taking one piece of content and then repurposing the heck out of it, and they're planning ahead instead of just winging it. Now let's talk about the type of content you should make, because it's not all created equal. Some content will get you followers, some will build trust, some will actually get people to purchase. And I'll avoid all the annoying jargon that maybe you've heard, but the point is businesses aren't posting content just because they feel like they should post something, right? They're always doing something to achieve a specific goal. And all of their content generally falls into three categories: educational, engagement, or conversion. Educational content is usually how people find you. You answer a question. They Googled it and they found you. They searched it up on TikTok and you had a video answering that question. This is how you attract new eyes, you start to build trust, and you start to build your brand as somebody that knows what they're talking about. The engagement content is stuff that is way more personal. It's what gets people to like you. This is usually more conversational, a little bit more fun. Think of like behind the scenes footage, or your opinion takes, or relatable stories about how you're building your business. It's what makes you memorable and personable, and not just a faceless brand that nobody cares about. The conversion content is what gets people to actually buy from you. These are things we're doing to have you build trust, to get over barriers, to make people think that, yes, your product is worth their time and money. Now, most brands focus a lot on the educational side. They're kind of embarrassed to do the engagement side, and they're absolutely terrified of actually asking people to purchase. But if you never ask, it'll never happen. So like right now, I'm going to ask you to subscribe or to sign up for my newsletter. That'd be great, thank you. I'm kidding, but I'm not really. It'd be nice, so. But your content should generally follow a rule of thumb of 3 posts. So for every 3 engaging or educational posts, try to post at least one thing that encourages people to purchase from you. And these can come in different forms: testimonials, product stories, reviews. That doesn't have to be, hey, buy from me. It can be something that addresses a specific reason as to why they're not buying from you already. All right, so let's talk about repurposing content, because I think this is where most people get it wrong, and it's why you burn out. Because instead of starting absolutely from scratch for every single thing you do multiple times a week, what I want you to do is to plan one big idea, then break that up into sub ideas. And here's how it works with this exact YouTube video. This script becomes a YouTube video. It's going to be my longest piece of content, and it's going to explain everything fully. Then I'm going to take the main sections and I'm going to make 4 newsletters out of it, so I have 1 email per week. And then for each of those emails, I'm going to break that into 3 different social media posts for different platforms that are all talking about the same concept, but maybe with a slightly different approach. And if I really wanted, I can turn this whole thing into a downloadable guide, and that could be my lead magnet. So I can spend one afternoon to write that YouTube script, and then everything else only takes maybe 30 minutes to an hour. So I get an entire month's worth of content from just one afternoon. And this strategy uses something called cornerstone content, which is just one piece of content that serves a big purpose, that's a big idea, And that's pretty long. You know, that can be a YouTube video, a podcast, a blog post, whatever you want. And then you break that down into bite-sized pieces for other places on the internet. And when I'm saying to reuse it and repurpose it, I don't mean just copy and paste. Please don't do that. Because each platform has its own culture. You're not going to post the same way on, Blue Sky as you would on Instagram or on YouTube. They're all going to need their own format. But you can take the same idea, edit it a little bit, make it match what you want to do on each platform. And that doesn't take as long because you already know the ideas. You already know what you want to say. You just sort of twist a little bit how you say it. So for example, on my LinkedIn, I usually stay a little bit more professional, but I like to encourage engagement, get people to post on it. I break things down into lines, so it's really easy to read. But on Blue Sky, I can be more conversational, maybe a little bit more raw and funny and jokey. So it's the same things I want to say, but my tone is a little different because I'm addressing a different audience. So now let's plan 3 months of content in one day. And yes, I do try to plan an entire quarter in a day. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about your one goal you have for this quarter, for this upcoming 3 months. And then I want you to get out a piece of paper or a spreadsheet or a Notion page if you're obsessed like I am. We're gonna need about 2 to 3 hours, put on a good playlist, and then we're gonna break things down really easily. You have 3 months, so think of 3 main ideas you want to talk about. So to give you my example, last month I was talking about planning for your business. This month I'm talking about content marketing for your business. Next month we're gonna talk about email marketing. So those are 3 cornerstone ideas, or 3 pillars, 3 big topics. We have a lot to talk about, and I can easily break them down. Step 2, for each of those 3 ideas, each of those 3 cornerstone pieces, I want you to break them down into 4 subpoints. So for me, let's say for email, I'm going to talk about why email is important, how it can help you grow your business, how to work on technical aspects, and what to include in those emails to reach your goals. So now I have 1 cornerstone piece, and now I have 4 emails. I have four different topics that I can send once a week. So each of those newsletters have 1 big idea. We can break that down into strong hook, conversational question about the topic, and maybe a helpful tip that's related. There you go. You got 3 ideas for social media. So now we have all of our topics for every piece of social media for the next 3 months. So now what I want you to do is step 4. Put that all down onto a content calendar. Just write it down when you're going to send every piece of content. Are you sending your newsletter on a Tuesday? Are you doing your posts Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Which day will you post a YouTube video? Because remember, you need to write it, record it, edit it, and then post it. So think about timing. And you really don't need something fancy for this. It can be really simple. Quick Google Sheet works perfectly fine. Again, I like Notion, but you don't have to go crazy with this. Now, step 5, this is what I prefer doing, but batch create. So whether that means creating everything all at once or doing things 1 month in advance or 1 week in advance. You already have a plan, so now you just sit down and get to writing. The planning's done, the hard thinking's done. Now you just need to turn your ideas into reality. Last thing, to wrap things up, to make this a little bit easier for you, since you have all your ideas, you've done your content calendar, let's talk about how to write so you don't sound like a robot. Because all the strategy in the world doesn't matter if everybody can tell that ChatGPT wrote everything for you. AI can be a helpful tool, but we're humans and we want to talk to humans. So, let's keep that into consideration. So when you're writing, I suggest to write like you talk. This isn't a paper for your English class. You don't have to go crazy, be super technical, be super academic. Just talk like you normally talk and put that onto paper. Second recommendation, use short paragraphs, short lines, makes it easier to read. We're in a modern age. You're not reading a novel. Number 3, put the good stuff first. Don't bury it in there. People have short attention spans now. You need to say what's most important right away. Now, what helps me the most is to think about who you're talking to. Think about 1 person that really represents your audience. Plan everything as if you were talking to them. And lastly, this is really important, be honest. I feel like in social media, everybody's sort of like just pretending to be like the biggest expert in their field. They know everything. They're the best. They're the greatest. But that doesn't show any vulnerability. And vulnerability builds trust faster than pretending you're an authority. And the reason I give you all of these tips is because they're going to work no matter what algorithm you use, because those algorithms will change. You're going to have days where suddenly Instagram hates you, okay? Not to mention the fact that platforms come and go. But the one thing that's not going to go away is genuine human connection. And all of those recommendations, plus the easy way to organize all of your thought, that's going to work for any platform. So to recap, the businesses that are consistent are the ones who can manage it long term. So if you make 10 YouTube videos this month and next month you make one because you're so tired and you're burnt out from running yourself to the ground last month, that's not consistency. So plan something that you can handle. Pick the right content type, pick where to choose, and try to connect it all and repurpose it all so you don't have to think so much. It's easier to plan, it's easier to create, and it's easier to fit in your already busy schedule. Week by week, we're gonna get a dedicated deep dive. I'm gonna show you some more examples. You'll even get downloadable templates. So if you're not on the email list yet, it's in the description, 100% free. No spam, no nonsense, and I promise you only things that are actually useful. So if this was helpful for you, make sure to subscribe and sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to be going over all of these steps in a little bit more detail this month. All of that genuinely helps small business owners find this content, and hopefully we can make all of our lives a little bit easier, which is kind of the whole point of my business. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy marketing.